Hey, hey, it's your girl Serene. Welcome back to my channel. So, today I'm covering day 9 and 10. And for day 9, I'm going to be reading some of my notes I wrote. So, bear with me when I'm not looking directly into the camera at you, please. But, the first expert they had testify on day 9 was just absolutely the best. I don't know where they found this man or how they found this man, but he was the best. His name is Dr. Tobin, Mark Tobin, and he is a uh, brain and breathing expert. I don't know what they call it. So, like again, I always say, which I'm going to go ahead and say right now to get it out the way, I am not a doctor. I am not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I'm not no expert in any shape, way, or form on anything in this trial. These are my measly opinions. You can either disagree to agree or agree to disagree. Up to you. But anywho, back to my opinion. So, um, basically, Dr. Tobin gave us some lessons in court on day 9. Some lessons that even your child could follow and understand. That's how well he broke it down. He didn't just throw all these medical terms at us. He had exercises for us to do. He demonstrated stuff, which I'm gonna get to. He even had the jury take deep breaths in and out so they could feel their diaphragm and the cage of their ribs expand and all of that so they can understand exactly how they breathe, and if something is constricting it, you won't be able to. He even had them hold the back. I'm holding the front. He had them hold the back of their neck to find, I forgot the name of the bone of it back there, but so they could see how hard it is um, back there versus how soft it is on the sides and the front of your neck. All of that. It got to the point where the defense, let me see, he object over 5 times. They had to do a sidebar over 5 times during this one expert testimony. He killed the defense. Period. Basically, in all that was said and done, according to him, that I'm going to read exactly what he said. If your pump handle and your bucket handle, which would be the rib cage and your diaphragm, if they are not working together, you are not receiving oxygen. Period. He said George Floyd was being squashed between the concrete and they were forcing the cuff hands up tight on his back behind him. And then on top of that, having the knee on his neck, knee on his back, because apparently Chauvin just didn't have his knee on his back, on his neck. He had it on his back too. It was times which they showed this witness brung in video clips of where on the video you clearly see Chauvin had both knees on George, one on the neck and one on his back, and he even blew up his boots, Chauvin's boots, showing they clearly were not touching the ground, which means all his weight was on George. So on top of that, he also had a 3D model that moved the car. So now you see he's on his George neck and back, then the other one was on his back, and they also pulling his cuffed hands up towards his chest area in his back, and then the other one was holding his legs. He said between all of that, there was no way that man was going to be able to breathe. It was no way for his chest or his diaphragm to expand because he's against concrete. Concrete, we all know, don't move. He even showed where on points in the video you see George trying to push his finger on the ground, he was saying that that was his way of trying to get air on that side of his body. He even had his knuckle against the tire in one of the videos where you could he tell he was trying to push, and he said that was another way he was trying to also get air. He even had played a part of the video where he counted how many breaths George took to his last breath, which also was proof that he wasn't overdosing or having any type of heart attack. He also emphasized that the amount of drugs that George had in his system would not have caused any type of drug overdose or him to have a heart attack. Neither. When he was cross examined with the defense, when the defense came to cross examine him, it was I don't know if he was faking or he truly was having something wrong with his voice, but the defense seemed to have been hoarse and had to repeat his questions a lot. And it was funny because at 2 points in the questioning, Dr. Tobin laughed at him and said, "You were really trying to confuse me." It was very funny. It was, even though we're in such a serious trial, because I think he was trying to confuse him, and the doctor just was not falling for it at all. Bottom line, George died from the combination of how he was being held down. If he was not being held down and restrained the way he was, he would have lived. Because he was being held down and restrained the way he was, is the reason he died as far as Dr. Tobin is concerned. Period. He was great. Great witness. So, the next person they had testify on day 9 was a Dr. Bill William Smock, and he's a special he's the director in special training in forensic medicine. And he basically said the same thing, that he did not have any overdose, and it was clear that he was dying from a lack of oxygen. Period. So that expert stated the same thing, and even on cross examination, he didn't give up no different opinions outside of it was lack of oxygen. It was not a drug overdose. It was not a sudden death. It was not a bad heart condition. It was none of the things that the defense is trying to blame it on. So on day 10, they had a forensic pathologist, Dr. Lindsay Jarrett Thomas. She testified that it was also no evidence of any heart attack. He also did not have an overdose. She also do believe that because of the officers is the reasons why he had an asphyxia, because of them, which is, that he couldn't breathe. The defense cross-examined her and tried to question her about a medical paper that was written in Canada, which she stated she didn't understand the point of him asking her about a paper written in Canada. We in America. Moving along, the next person to take a stand after her was the medical examiner, which to me talked around himself. Let me tell you why. So he's the head chief medical coroner there at the county this happened in. And he stated all of the things he found wrong with George. He had a sickle cell trait. His heart was enlarged, but it was not so enlarged that he was worried about it. He did state that. He also said he had hypertension. And by him having hypertension and having a clogged heart, that all of these things he feel contributed to his death, on the fact that because he had these going on, he's saying that's the reason the restraint killed him. So basically, to him, if he did not have all this unhealthiness going on, he would have been able to withstand and survive being restrained the way he was restrained, is the chief medical examiner's belief. His exact words was, his body and heart just could not withstand the fight. It couldn't handle the fight. And this right here is what bothers me about that. That still goes to the fact that if they would not have done what they done, he would be alive today, as far as I'm concerned. To me, you just talking around circles. The bottom line is, if they would not have restrained him the way they restrained him, that man would be alive today. Heart condition, hypertension, sickle cell, all that. He would be here today if it was not for the way they restrained him. So why not just say that? On top of the fact, he does conclude that he died from cardiac arrest. So he's claiming he believed he had a cardiac arrest, even though none of these other doctors looked at his work, found this. That was pretty much it for day 10, which leads me to my thoughts. I don't trust this medical examiner, and I'm not saying that because of the fact that he's not so-called agreeing with the other doctors, because as far as I'm concerned, he did agree with the other doctors. He just chose to label it as cardiac arrest. And the reason he explained on the stand he chose cardiac arrest is because he feels for asphyxia, it's too many different types of asphyxia to just list one asphyxia as the cause. He also said on the stand that he wasn't qualified, that was out of his realm to decide if it was asphyxia, what kind of asphyxia it was. So I guess my thing that I'm annoyed about is, if that's the case, why not just put on there cardiac arrest, possible asphyxia? Why not leave it open to both if you know for a fact it's some type of asphyxia, but you don't know which one? Why label it as something else and then stick to it after you done had your own assistant medical deputy examiner disagrees with you? She feels it's asphyxia. You're over here saying it's cardiac arrest. Why? It's more to that to me. I'm thinking he just don't want to. I think he's being biased. I don't think he wants to give the prosecution anything as far as against a cop. Because I don't care what nobody say, a lot of these people have their own feelings about what's going on in this trial. And I think that the medical examiner, the head medical examiner, did not want to agree to the correct term for the simple fact that he knows for a fact that would definitely close in on the police officer going to jail. And you have a lot of people that feel a police officer should not go to jail for things they do out here. Yeah, I think the medical examiner is one of them. That's how I feel about it. Anywho, I do want to reiterate, though, that I enjoyed Dr. Tobin's testimony. And I hope the juries, and which I really don't think they could possibly forget. Dr. Tobin, like I said, he really went through like exercises. Like he showed you how to bucket and how to, honey, he was very visual. He is a professor also, so it's probably why he was so good at it. But I mean, he made the defense so mad. The defense did it. One of the sidebars I do know for sure was about the demonstrations, because every time he told them to do something, the jury did it. Every one of them. So the defense did have the judge, after one of the sidebars, come back to say, you do not have to follow the instructions of Dr. Tobin if you do not want to. If you like to, you can continue on. But if you do not want to, you do not have to. And apparently, according to the reporters that's inside the court, they definitely continued following his instructions. Every last one of them. I was at home following instructions, so I can feel it. Because he really had you stuck on what he was saying, what he was doing, like. And like I said, he broke it down for even an elementary child could understand. So you could follow along with what he was saying, which kind of made me even more sadder, because he really gave you a view of what George was going through on that ground with them on top of him. Like, seriously. We all know it's bad from the video, but to actually go step by step of how his body was breaking down, let's just say that's why this video is a little late going up, y'all, because it was deep for me. I've been kind of contemplating that, because yeah, that part was the after effect of Dr. Tobin, baby. That was deep. And again, I feel so sorry for his family that has to go through this in court. Painful. Painful. If it's painful for us who didn't even know this man, I don't even want to imagine how painful it is for his family that love, knew, and care about him. You know? So. Coming up, of course, will be day 11, 12, and 13. They believe that the prosecutor's last day of their case will be the 11th day, which is Monday, which is technically today. But we shall see. I'll let you know. But yes, please, if you made it to the end of my video, and before I end it, I want to send out a prayer to the family of the young man that was also shot dead in Minneapolis over the weekend. I believe it was last night, which would have been Sunday, which would have been the 11th. So I would like to send out prayers to them, and so sorry for your loss. If you made it to the end of my video, thank you for listening and caring about my measly old opinion. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. And please don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be made aware every time I upload a video. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Mwah.